你干什么了？
完了。
你知道这个世界上最差劲的男人是谁吗？是你。你看看你自己，你像个男人吗？钱没赚到，家庭没照顾到，工作一事无成，要能力没能力，要学历没学历，要本事没本事，老婆养不起，孩子没陪伴，30多岁的人了，人生都过去一半了，你知道吧？哎。今天是我离婚的第一天，我希望大家吃好喝好玩
好。挣钱太难了，我今天是从早上8点半，然后出去跑车，跑到了1点钟，然后回来，然后吃了一点东西，然后下午2点半又开始跑到现在5点半，刚好来到学校再接我女儿。一天的流水下来就110块钱，真的姐妹们太难了，我感觉现在真的不知道该怎么办了，挣钱又这么难。不好意思啊，我不是在给大家制造焦虑，真的我就觉得现在为什么这么不友好，一旦有一方做错事了，跟着受惩罚的也是我们这些全职妈妈。像我们出去找工作吧，还要有孩子，没有工作吧又有负债，真的不知道该怎么办。
离婚的女人很吃香，哪怕带个孩子都有人抢。
Divorced women are in high demand. Even if they have a child, people will still fight over them. Have you been brainwashed by this kind of toxic chicken soup? As a divorced woman with a child, I will tell you what reality is really like. If you get divorced, and you also have a son, no matter how good-looking you are, after people hear it, they may not even be willing to meet you. Why? Because there are no such foolish men now. No one is willing to help raise someone else's child. Men usually consider practical issues, thinking that later they will still have to buy a car and a house for your child. What a huge investment that is. Men are not stupid. So women, especially women who are currently in a marriage, if your personal ability is very average, or even very poor, then drink less toxic chicken soup. Because toxic chicken soup generally applies to women who are very confident, financially strong, and extremely capable personally. Really, because chicken soup does have some truth to it, but it does not suit everyone. So in marriage, it is very important that you recognize yourself and find your right position. Because I'm telling you, if you cannot find your position, cannot see yourself clearly, and because of your own drama, willfulness and making trouble, your marriage ends up in a very bad situation, then I'm telling you, no one will pay for your failed marriage, and no one will pay for your failed life. Many times, it is not that you cannot be willful, cannot be dramatic, cannot make trouble, and it is not that you cannot drink the chicken soup online, but these are not suitable in a marriage, and they also test your economic foundation and personal ability. If you are a very ordinary person, then you must be practical, and do not get brainwashed by some chicken soup.
尊敬的人民法院，你们好，我是一位来自河南开封36岁的单亲妈妈。
Hello, respected People's Court. I am a 36-year-old single mother from Kaifeng, Hunan. To be honest, I have lived my whole life upright and straightforward. If I owed someone 500 yuan, I would still scrape it together overnight. But I never expected that, after the divorce, because I blindly invested in my own business startup, I did not expect that in the end it would lead to me being heavily in debt. In just a few months, I was put on the blacklist, and the few thousand yuan of living expenses left in my card were also all frozen and taken away. I even have to buy on credit from my neighbors to pay utilities. We also want to repay the debt, but when we go out to look for work, we find that we are dishonest persons, and not a single factory dares to hire us. I wanted to go set up a street stall, but I found that the payment QR code could not be used. When I was in debt, my life was all frozen. I cannot even pay my child's living expenses for school. Neighbors look at me like they are looking at a monster. I also wanted to go deliver food, but because I am a dishonest person, I was rejected by the platform, tied up on the dishonesty list and unable to move. I am not a deadbeat, and I do not want to become a deadbeat. I want to make money to repay my debts. I just want to not rely on men. I am just a single mother who wants to rely on my own hands to raise my child. People in debt really have it hard. So, I beg the court, considering our situation as people in debt, please stop giving us special care. We only ask for a job that can support a family. Just give us a way to live. I will definitely use my own hands to earn back the debts I owe, little by little. This is not just my story, it is countless people who are being dragged down. We have no way to avoid being labeled as deadbeats, even breathing comes with heavy shackles. Please give us a chance to be cleared, and give children a future that is not discriminated against. This is more important than any judgment. Applicant, a single mother who wants to live.
怎么这么难赚呀？攒一点钱就要交这费就要交那费。前2天刚把暖气费交了，现在孩子的辅导班费又到期了。昨天我的车险也到期了，推销保险的一遍又一遍的给我打电话，我说我没钱，我先不交，他不死心，光今天上午就给我打了10几个电话，我没办法了，我说我口袋里还有121块钱，你要是缺钱，你要不然你先拿去。我离婚带着2个孩子，要孩子的费用太高了。孩子的爸爸也不给抚养费，每次跟他要抚养费就像挤牙膏一样，不挤就一点也不给。我本来是想做个好妈妈的，我努力赚钱，可是我赚的没有花的多，我不是个好妈妈。
官宣了，正式离婚了，终于结束了。
It is official. I am formally divorced. It is finally over. No need to guess. I will tell everyone openly. I got married for happiness, and I got divorced for happiness too. No one needs to laugh at me. I was not knocked down. I believe my future will be even better. Divorce is relief. It is rebirth. I used my best youth to go through 2 unbearable marriages, and it also brought me the deepest lessons. A divorce paper, each of us well, let go of the obsession in my heart, let go of those unbearable pasts. 2 unbearable marriages did not become a force that blocks me from continuing to move forward in life. I believe I will get better and better in the future. A blessed woman does not enter an unblessed family. Leaving you is not my loss, it is my rebirth. Goodbye to a 5-year marriage. I hope from now on we each live in peace.
人生真的会好起来吗？离婚2年了。
Will life really get better? It has been 2 years since the divorce, and I still have not let my child live a good life. How hard is it to raise a child alone? 2 years ago I took my child and left my ex-husband's home. At that time I had no money at all. The first problem I faced was surviving. I took my child to look for many jobs, but I found that there was simply not a single job that could both make money and also take care of the child. But I believe heaven always leaves a way out, and I finally found a job that provided meals and housing. The work was relatively easy, and I could also accompany my child, but the pay was really too little, so little that it was not enough to support the life of the 2 of us. I felt this was not the life I wanted to give my child. I wanted to give my child a better life. I wanted to give him a home. So 2 months later I resigned, and used a credit card to rent the place I live in now. Actually at that time I did not think clearly about what to do next. I thought, it cannot be that life will force me to death. Worst case I will just deliver food. After renting the place, the pressure became huge. Every time I open my eyes it is rent, tuition, and living expenses. I found it seemed like I really could not find a job with hours from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. that could still support my child. Open a shop? I seemed to not even have the capital. Set up a street stall? The child still needs to sleep early and wake up early. I found that delivering food seemed to become my only choice. In the end, with no way out, I really chose to deliver food, and I have been doing it for 2 years. Every day I start early and end late. I have to work more than 12 hours to earn enough living expenses. I do not dare to rest, and I do not dare to get sick, because resting for 1 day means going into debt for 1 day. To stay alive, it feels like I do not even have a life anymore. I do not even dare to rest during the new year. To be honest, I am tired every day, physically and mentally exhausted. The most exhausting thing is that I cannot see hope that life can get better. Slowly I found that I seem to have completely lost my love and hope for life. Actually, what hurt me and frustrated me the most in these 2 years is that my child suffered so much with me. In the summer heat of nearly 40 degrees, my child accompanied me under the blazing sun, getting tanned into a little black kid, tortured by the heat for the entire summer. Even if we encountered severe weather with strong winds and heavy rain, soaked all over, he still had to accompany me to hold the post. I do not know how many times he ate on my electric bike, and I do not know how many times he slept on my electric bike. The electric bike became his moving bed. Last winter, in -17 to 18 degrees, my child accompanied me in the icy snow for an entire day, trembling from the cold all over. His delicate little hands were frostbitten and swollen more than once. I never expected that my child would go through all of this with me. My heart is bleeding. I feel I am the most failed and most unqualified mother in this world. These 2 years have also become the 2 years of my life that I cannot bear to look back on the most. These 2 years we have suffered a lot, endured a lot, We overcame many difficulties, we broke down, we despaired, but it seems we never gave up. I asked myself countless times, do I have to deliver food for my whole life? I really do not know, as a single mother like me, where even staying alive is a problem, how on earth should I raise my child, and what on earth should I do to change my desperate situation? Actually, I really want to know, will life really get better? I have no answer. Right now I am still confused, but in my heart I am still holding on to one breath. This breath is, as long as I still have one breath left, I will never give up, and I will work hard to give my child a better life. This is the promise I made when I firmly took him away back then. I will not give up.
这个时候我觉得自己过得很失败。
1 year after the divorce, I feel that I am living a very failed life, so today I will show you my real situation after the divorce, with nothing held back. Before the divorce, I took out loans to buy a house worth more than 5 million yuan. After the divorce, the house was awarded to me. I am now unemployed, the mortgage has been cut off, and I am carrying 3.8 million yuan in debt. I have been placed on the credit blacklist as a dishonest debtor, and all of my credit cards and small loans are overdue. In front of my friends, I usually appear quite optimistic, but money really can crush a middle-aged divorced woman. Something happened today that truly broke me. Today is my son's 3rd birthday, and I wanted to buy him the cheapest birthday cake. I searched the entire internet and found that the cheapest one cost 44 yuan, but at that moment, there were only a little over 20 yuan left in my bank card. In that instant, I felt extremely unbearably wronged. Why is life so hard? I am already 37 years old, and I do not even have the ability to buy my son a 44 yuan birthday cake. At that moment, I felt that my life was truly a failure. All the suffering I have endured over more than 30 years, losing even more money, enduring more ridicule, and bearing more humiliation. None of that compares to this moment. On my son's 3rd birthday, I could not even afford 44 yuan to buy him a cake. This is the kind of grievance that hurts the most. I feel deeply sorry to him. This year he should have been attending kindergarten, but because I have no money, he has not been able to go at all. I am already 37 years old. Is there any 37-year-old single mother living a more miserable life than me? Is there any single mother doing worse than I am?
Divorced women, most of them will regret it. This is not nonsense. There are simply too many real examples. Many people in the moment get hot-headed and say divorce, and they divorce, but not long after, they regret it so much their intestines twist into knots. When they want to turn back and beg the ex to reconcile, the other side does not even respond. Some women always think that changing a husband will make life immediately flourish. But I have to remind you, ideals are full, reality is harsh. Most women were led astray by so-called good sisters around them. You tell them a little about the unhappiness in your marriage, and they immediately fan the flames. Oh, you are still enduring it. If it were me, I would have left long ago. You hear it too much, and your mind starts to waver, thinking that divorce is a new life, a new start. But once you really choose divorce, they pat their butts and leave, and the one who lives a hard life in the end is only you. Reality is far more cruel than you imagine. Even if you are young and pretty, once you become a divorced woman, especially if you also have a child, many men will feel uneasy. In the end, not everyone is willing to accept someone else's child, let alone be willing to cherish you as if you were in a first marriage. Men who truly have good economic conditions and mature minds are either already married or they simply do not consider remarriage at all. If you want to meet a second marriage man who truly accepts you, it is mostly a luxury. And many times, a second marriage often hides deeper pits. On the surface, it is calm, but behind it, each has their own calculations. In fact, sometimes, two people sleep in the same bed, yet it is like they live in two different worlds. Especially when both sides have children, then family conflicts can be said to come one after another. Educational concepts, financial sharing, emotional belonging, all of them can become a fuse. In the first few years, maybe there is still a little bit of passion, but as the days pass day by day, you will find that couples who can truly support each other are far too few. Most are just partnering up to get through the days. You dislike your ex-husband for being incapable and not considerate, but have you thought about it? He may not have made big money, and he does not understand romance, but he was willing to shoulder things for this family. Some men just look incapable on the surface. If you are more patient, life can still move forward, and it can get better and better. Do not get brainwashed by those so-called divorce freedom theories on the internet, making decisions impulsively. The one who suffers in the end is often yourself. As long as the person around you is still willing to change, and he is willing to communicate, then do not let go easily. Otherwise, if you really take that step, it will be hard for you to turn back.